Kia ora, my name's Shelby, and today we're doing a quick story on Horatio Bottomley. So Horatio Bottomley was orphaned when he was 4 years old, and to combat his loneliness, developed a fantasy world, a world in which he lived all his life. He became a solicitor's clerk when joined a firm of legal shorthand writers, rising to become a partner. He began publishing weekly reports of the doings of local councils and managed to con money out of his advertisers. By 1885, he owned the Catherine Street Publishing Association. Most businessmen were wary of splashing money they do not have on wild schemes, but Bottomley was the opposite. In 1889, he floated the Hansard Publishing Union with £500,000 capital, more commonly known on the stock exchange as, quote, Bottomley's swindle, close quote. In 1891, he filed for bankruptcy and was charged with conspiracy to defraud, but was acquitted. He then founded the Joint Stock Trust and Institute, which he used to float the Western Australian gold mining companies, and he now promoted. In little over 10 years, he promoted nearly 50 companies with a total capital of over £20 million. Bottomley liked to live beyond his means, and he bought a villa in Monte Carlo, a country house in Sussex, and a luxurious flat in Pall Mall. In 1898, he moved into horse racing and also established a stable of mistresses. Between 1901 and 1905, 67 bankruptcy petitions and rights were filed against him. In 1906, he was elected Liberal MP for Hackney South, his third attempt at getting into the House of Commons. He was not welcomed into the Commons, and his maiden speech was heard in silence. Guts for him, nah. No standing ovation, nah. I shouldn't joke about that. Okay, was heard in silence. Though hard work and self-effacement did win him a few friends. The same year, he became editor of his own weekly newspaper, John Bull, whose masthead claimed that it was written, quote, without fear or favour, rancor or rant, close quote, was a success from its first issue in 1906. In 1909, he was successful in writing a fraud case lodged against him by the shareholders of the Jock Stock Trust, and in 1910 he was re-elected twice as MP, but his colleagues saw through him and he was treated as a pariah in the House. In February 1912, the Prudential Insurance Company made a claim against him, and Bottomley was forced into bankruptcy. He returned to Parliament in December 1918 as the independent member for Hackney South, and the following year raised £900,000 from readers of John Bull investing in government victory bonds. It was another scam. In March 1922, he was charged with fraudulent conversion and appeared at the Old Bailey. He pleaded, quote, decidedly not guilty, close quote. The jury disagreed and he was found decidedly guilty on 23 out of 24 counts and sentenced to 7 years penal servitude. A prison visitor chancing upon Bottomley working on mailbags asked, quote, sowing Mr. Bottomley, close quote, to which he replied, no reaping. The aftermath: on 29th of July 1927, Bottomley was released from Maidstone Prison after serving 5 years. He tried to start a new journal called John Blunt and arranged a speaking tour. On 12th of September 1932, he appeared at the Windmill Theatre, London, in a variety show telling anecdotes to a puzzled crowd. After a few nights, he collapsed on stage with a heart attack. He died of a stroke at the Middlesex Hospital, London, on 26th of May 1933. Imagine having a maiden speech and no one says anything or even responds, and it's just silence. Guts for him, but yeah. I might actually do a deep dive on him, just so then it's a more in-depth story. But I hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe and please subscribe.